For me, it felt like desperation. I knew who the individual that I was looking at, it just wasn't me. My name is Cindy Venegas. I'm from Rialto, California. I'm a United States citizen. This is my first time coming to Mexico for a procedure. I'm the fourth child. I'm the youngest child. I was the black sheep of the family. I was a troublemaker. I went to school for software development. I have IT background support, an IT background. I also have administrative assistant background and a medical background. I met my husband when I was about 14, and we got married when I was 21. And we've now been together for 23 years and been married for 18 years. And now we have our 3 children. So I am a terminal ovarian cancer survivor. I was diagnosed with cancer in October of 2018. At that time when I was diagnosed, it was a progressed stage. If I hadn't shown up at the ER when I did that day, and I would have not paid attention to my symptoms, the doctors did say that I probably would have made it out another 3-4 months. It was just extremely progressed from my ovaries to my esophagus. When I was diagnosed in 2018, I thought I was going to the hospital because of a recent hernia surgery that I had had. So I had gone back to work. I started to feel the pains again in my stomach because it was right here in my abdomen. And I thought maybe I pushed myself too soon to go back to work, or maybe I pushed myself too hard while I was at work. So I went to the hospital complaining about the stomach pain, back pain, and abdomen pain. And I had no clue because I thought all the other times before that I did have abdomen pain and back pain, I thought it was because of my periods, like menstrual pains. So I didn't think nothing of it. It didn't feel like anything outside of that. But that day in October of 2018, after my CT test, ultrasound, they came back with the diagnosis that it was an advanced stage of ovarian cancer, and it had already spread up. I mean, my whole belly was full of ascites, which is a cancerous liquid, tumors. I was just full. I was full of cancer, and I was at a progressed stage. I spoke to my gynecologist, oncologist, and I asked for him to be very straightforward with me because I have 3 kids. We had just bought a house. I'm married. My husband had just lost his job. So many things happened. So I was looking to work something out to not leave my family stuck in a terrible situation with what was existing plus my situation. So I spoke to my doctor, and he told me that if I wanted to proceed with this surgery, it was a 50-50 chance. So I decided to take the chance. And thank God, through his experience, his team, through God, we were able to combat that. Sweet. total, I have 3 C-sections, 2 hernia repair surgeries on my abdomen. The second hernia surgery has a mesh. Then I have my hysterectomy surgery that is from my diaphragm to my pubic. With the 3 pregnancies, of course, it impacts the way your body looks. It impacts the way you feel about yourself. It impacts how your relationship may be with your partner. It impacts you, I think, mentally, because you know when you see yourself, you are not who you know you are inside. You know, for me, it felt like desperation. It felt sad, and it felt a desperation to want to achieve this goal, to be on the outside. And it may seem, I don't know if it may sound egotistical or vain, but I don't consider it so. But I wanted to feel as beautiful as I know who I am on the inside. On the outside, we're not perfect. We're all individuals. We're not supposed to be all skinny. It's okay to be big, skinny, large, small, tall, short. But my problem was that I knew who the individual that I was looking at, it just wasn't me. I didn't have a problem with being chunky or skinny. I had a problem that I had so many distortion in my own body, and then it mentally affected me, and I felt very trapped and depressed and desperate. And because of that, I would try to lose weight, and then it was like a psych thing where I would go back and sabotage my own success. I would be like, oh, screw it, I'm gonna eat, screw it, who cares what I look, what does it matter, it doesn't matter, like, no big deal. And it was like a vicious cycle. I would keep sabotaging myself and hurting myself. And then I started thinking, I'm like, you know, you're going towards 40, you have these 3 C-sections, your body is just distorted from this huge hysterectomy surgery. You're putting yourself through all this intense dieting and stress, and it's becoming unhealthy for you because it's just me. And nobody else was telling me anything. It's just to me. This is going on in my own mind because of the things that I've lived. And I thought, you know, if I've gone through something that is so life-changing as cancer, and I've achieved it, and I've overcome it, and I'm so grateful to be here, why don't I feel like I deserve to live happily? When I made a decision to plan, I made a plan. Look, I'm gonna start saving this money. This is my savings for my personal happiness. You know, my change, my body change. I started getting estimates first in the United States, and I went to a few clinics that are very well known. But I was just blown away with the cost for one particular area, and it made me feel like, you know, this is never going to happen for me. I felt sad, like this is unrealistic. I'd have to be like super rich, or have like super really good credit score for me to be able to finance this at the best finance rate. And I started feeling really down again. Here we go again. I started, you know, binge eating and just falling into my depression again. And then my son's girlfriend, she had some good insights to tell me about doctors in Mexico. And she opened that door for me. I never considered that. I just started looking around. And I started feeling unsure because there's so many doctors in Mexico. And you hear all these terrible stories, right? All these terrible outcomes. Of course, you always hear the terrible outcomes first. You don't really hear all the successful outcomes. Those are not often reported because I think it would probably overshadow all the negativity. And I think that, in my opinion, that's how I was envisioning it. That's how I went in with that mindset when I started looking into doctors over here. It caught my eye, I think it was on Facebook, Dr. Antonio. And when I saw his picture, I said, no way, he cannot be a doctor. First of all, he's very young. He probably looks like he's around my age. And I said, this can't be. So I started looking more into it. And then I started seeing that he belonged to something called MedTrip. And I said, what's MedTrip? What is that? Yeah. So I'm like, I got really curious. And the doctors that I had already, or the Mexican clinics that I had already been in touch with, didn't offer anything like this. This was something totally new. So it really enticed my curiosity. Like, I want to learn more about this, because if I'm going to go somewhere, a part of Mexico where I have no family, secondly, I don't feel confident enough to tell my family, hey, I'm going to go to Mexico, because I know I'm going to start hearing all this negative stuff. Unfortunately, that's the first thing, that all the bad opinions are just, you're drowned in bad opinions, bad suggestions. Don't do it. And so I was like, I don't want to hear any of that. My mind's made up. Nobody's going to change my mind. Whether this is good or bad, who cares? This is my own decision, and that's what I'm moving forward with. When it got to the point where I had made my decision and I'm on my way to Mexico for this, I ended up losing my flight. There's some things coming from San Diego, California to Tijuana, Mexico. I went through an area called CBX, and I didn't know, because I never before had an issue, but this time there was some regulations with the Mexican nation and the requirements for foreigners to present their passport in order to come. Well, I don't know that. I lost my flight, but I was very appreciative that I was able to contact, the concierge team at MedTrip and quickly arrange a resolution. However, I will tell you that made me feel like, is this like a sign? Like, don't do this. I started feeling really worried again. I'm like, you know what, Sydney? I'll tell you this. Like me, I was talking to myself. I'm like, if you can arrange, if the concierge team arranges something, it's a sign for you to go. Don't think anything. If they tell you, you know what? Oh, I'm sorry, we're not going to be able to reschedule until tomorrow or the next day, or can we just reschedule this because we have other patients? I'm like, I'll take that as a sign. I'm like, I'll just leave it like that to make myself feel comfortable. I'm not pushing it. I'm like, at that time I didn't feel any hesitation like this is a wrong choice as far as the team and the doctors. It was just to me, like personally, because of all my medical history. So when I was able to reschedule my flight, I said, there is no hesitation. Don't stop being scared. It's gonna be okay. And I made it out here.
Hi, hello everyone. This is Ilse from MedTrip. I'm from the marketing area, from the marketing team.
Hello, and this is Alejandro. You already know me. You can call me Alex. And we are at the Innovare Hospital here in Guadalajara. We're so happy because today we have one of our patients having her surgery. And right now she is at the office of the Dr. Antonio Garcia, and she's having a test, a COVID test, before she goes into the surgery, into the operating room. I think she's right now having the COVID test. What if we go there and see how is all the process, so you can have in mind and how your process can be as well.
When I went into the surgery and I saw how well organized it was. It was nothing like anybody had said, oh, you know, in Mexico it's gonna be bad, they don't pay attention to you. There's nothing like the service when you're in your country. It's not true. It was an excellent setup, organized, extremely well, and I felt at super ease. At that time, once I was on the table getting prepped for surgery, I knew I had made the right choice. Right now I just feel excited. I feel a little bit of butterflies right here, but I think it's normal. When I woke up from surgery, it was a complete experience waking up from this surgery. I felt eased. There was no harsh medication. I didn't feel like, oh, I can't talk, I can't even open my eyes. I woke up and I felt so calm. It was raining. There was a lightning and thunder. It was a beautiful room. The nurses were there. Looking after me. I was having the therapeutic massage on my legs to prevent any blood clots from forming. I felt great. I started to like feel myself like right away, like where's the change? Right away, like I felt like, oh, look at this, my lonjas, I don't have them more. They're gone, yeah. So I was just amazed. I've been doing good. I've been doing my massages that the recovery house offers. Draining a lot, which it may sound a little bit like, you know, you're draining. Yeah, you're draining, but actually it's the best thing that can happen for the recovery and your healing. And a lot of the draining happens when you're getting massaged, and also because you have the draining tubes. Once the draining tubes are removed, you're still draining, and that's completely normal and okay. And because I'm draining so much and I'm moving so much, it helps speed up your recovery, and it helps alleviate the tightness that you do feel from, you know, the few fluids through your body. I really appreciate that my meals are taken up to my room when I wasn't able to come downstairs. The 24-hour attention, like I need something, I can call my nurse on her phone and she'd be right there. She would take me what I need. She would help me in the restroom, help me to shower, dry me off, give me my massage, bring me my meals, wash my clothes. I mean, whatever I needed, they were there. That's not something that comes in just any package. I just want to live the rest of my life happily. And I'm so fortunate that I did find the right team in all ways, as far as here in the recovery house, as far as the doctors, everything. I found the right team that was able to help me achieve that. Can you imagine going through something where you're gonna lose your life just 2 years ago? 2 years ago, I never would have thought that today, 2 years later, my life would be different. That I would be here, first of all. Secondly, that my life would be different.
And what are your plans for the future?
Well, right now I'm 38, so going into my 40s, super happy, having more confidence with my husband in our marriage, because I suffered a lot. My marriage was impacted. I didn't want to be with him. I didn't want him looking at me. I didn't want him touching me. I didn't want to join the parties. I didn't want to go out. So all those things will be different. Now that I'm healing, I'm seeing how my body has changed. I see swelling going down. I'm amazed. I feel like, is this really real? It is. It's like my payoff now, right? My payoff is to keep enjoying living my life. it's a big life lesson, definitely. I hope that if there is any, whether you're a man or a woman, whether you're older or younger, just, it's not about vanity. And I learned that from the cardiologist. It's not really about vanity. Doing a procedure like the one I've done will also impact my life, my health. It greatly reduces the risks of high blood pressure, diabetes, cardiac issues. Life is short, and it's only once that we have it, right? We only are aware that we live once. And why not live it happily? Why live it considering the thoughts of others or the decisions, to accept the decisions of others? Because others are not living your life. They're not waking up living what you live in your head, in your heart, in your home, at your work. When you put on your clothes, when you take off your clothes, they don't live it. Only you do. So why not live it happily?